Good evening, Netherlands 2, Poland 2. Netherlands missed a last-minute penalty and couldn't win the game against Poland, but the Van Gaal unbeaten run continues. I'm Michael Statham from Football-Oranje and with Abdul tonight, who's here to talk about the game and give a few thoughts on it. We've got your comments coming in live, which we would love to show out on the screen. So if you've got any more comments to get into us, put them in now so we can get them on screen on our show. It was a performance where I don't think people are too negative. I think a couple of individuals that people have been negative about this evening, but on the whole, not a really disappointing performance because of the comeback that the Dutch made. What did you think, Abdul?
Well, of course, before I start talking about the match, it was also good for Oranje that Wales and Belgium tied 1-1. So Oranje is still leading now comfortably with 3 points ahead, so that's a very good result. Speaking of the match, the first half was really strange. I'm not exaggerating if I say I've never seen Holland playing like this since the days of Blind, actually. The team was completely unmotivated, and especially the players up front. Depay, most of his crosses and the passes were cut. He was completely invisible. Still Poland scored from one chance. Okay, Holland was dominating but not really creating any chances. Poland got one chance and they scored from it. Maybe we should blame, or maybe I think Flecken was kind of responsible for the goal. Some people blame Blind also for not blocking the ball. Maybe it was both of them's mistake. The second half started with a very, very quick goal for Poland. It came from nowhere, actually. We thought it was an offside in the beginning, but then with the VAR, we realized it wasn't an offside. I think the Dutch players, after the second goal, realized the situation that they were in. So after the second goal, they started to play the way we usually see them playing, pressing, creating chances, and that's why they scored two quick goals actually in like 5 minutes. Unfortunately, we had so many chances after that, but Poland goalie, I have to give him really, maybe he's man of the match. He saved many chances, and unfortunately, Memphis Depay also wasted a penalty in the last minutes of the match.
You said unmotivated there. Do you think it might have been tiredness after a long, hard season? They're now playing game after game for their country, travelling from different country to different country. Does that have an impact?
Could be, actually. You're talking about playing 4 matches in 11 days and after a very long season in Europe. So they could have been tired indeed. Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some of these live comments. And before I do, I should explain that I'm not in my normal home at the moment. I'm actually in Wales, having watched Wales against the Netherlands on Wednesday. If you haven't checked it out yet, I did manage to ask Van Gaal a question in the press conference. So we have a video of the interview that we had with Van Gaal up on YouTube channel. It's on the website as well. So go and check that out if you've not already. But also there'll be some content coming up tonight and possibly tomorrow. We have an interview with Erwin van der Looy. He speaks about Van Gaal there. Says he's the best coach that the Netherlands have ever had. And also Kenneth Taylor, he gives a few thoughts on Ajax as well. So keep your eyes out for that on Football-Oranje in the coming days. So live comments. Ras says, disappointed with how little the team pushed for the winner after scoring the equaliser. Didn't seem like the team realised that the score was 2-2 till the 80th minute. There was a bit of discussion going, I think, in the comments. Albion's kid was active with a few comments. First thing, Poland were quick to flop and Dutch were way too lax in the first half. Maddening watch them put on a clinic against Belgium and then unbalanced game against Poland. Well, perhaps all the travelling has had a bit of an impact with that. But a second comment as well from him. He loves and hated Memphis today. Brilliant at times. Way too careless with the ball. Julian says, I hated Poland in this match. The amount of fake free kicks they got from the ref. Let's get some other ones on. Rob says, I've lost Rob's comment. Where is it? Would have liked to see Memphis in the number 10 role earlier. How many times have we been saying this on Football-Oranje that it would be nice to see an experiment of that? But I did like him through the middle against Belgium. That did work. I'm not sure if Klaassen or Berghuis are off enough there. Gakpo is a threat on the wing. Yes. But against Belgium, I think Klaassen and Berghuis, it did work. And that's them in midfield. They offered some different kinds of things. Van Heyden said that he put them in for a reason against Belgium. So did that just not work well tonight because the Dutch had more of the ball? Like, what could the reason have been?
Well, I think what you mentioned, the players were tired of traveling and a long season and playing two matches before that. Um, uh, they looked very distracted in the first half, indeed. And I forgot his name. I did not get his name. The guy who said he hated Memphis Depay some parts of the match. I would love to ask him just to sit and think of his performance in the first half because it was a disaster, really. I've never seen him playing in this level. It was really bad, but he got much better in the second half. So I don't think he was tired. Maybe something else. I don't really know. The second half, he performed way better. And he could have scored a goal, not only the penalty, if it wasn't for the goalkeeper. So.
And this is a good comment from Pablo. He said that without a true number 9, it's tough to center the ball, to cross the ball. And Weghorst is that option, I suppose, isn't he, where you can put crosses into him. He's tall, but he's not actually the best header of the ball. He's tall, but not necessarily strong in the air. Now, crossing the ball when you're playing against deep line defence can be useful, but the Dutch don't really have those kind of strikers. Pablo is saying here to have that strategy, and yet AJ Nick says here that Weghorst should start because the team needs a true centre forward. So what are your thoughts here, Abdul? What's happening with the strikers? Is there enough there already? Memphis and Bergwijn together?
Well, we don't have number 9,
No.
Of course, this is pretty much obvious. So we should play with the false number 9 as we played before Weghorst came in. When he came in, he did not really contribute much. I was expecting something from him, but he did not really do much. Gakpo was uh, a big addition to the match when he came in. He was really a threat to Poland. I think we will keep struggling with number 9. I don't think we will have anyone ready
No.
for the World Cup. Yeah,
No, you're right. It's about keeping Memphis going because he is the best option there, and he does offer something very good throughout through the middle. That Hapo though, I didn't make that much of him against Wales, which I think he needs in the season with PSV, given what I've seen in a few of the bigger games this season from him. But he has such good potential, and he's a very good footballer. So I'm just waiting to see like him push that another level above. He did play a big part in that cup final win against Ajax, but it's few and far between for him. And I just thought he was almost invisible against Wales. Maybe not invisible. Some people will probably criticise me saying that. he wasn't standing out anyway, was he? From the wide area, and he normally for PSV he does. Though he did have 2 Welsh players constantly come into him every single time he seemed to have the ball. Some more comments then. Jack says Flecken has been dodgy, not good enough for the Netherlands. Joe has been sarcastic. Depay was a great player for Poland this match. Blint was involved in the 2 Poland goals. Some more criticism for Blint has come in again this evening. One for Memphis. The line was not hungry tonight. Let's get some different people's comments in. Dara says, do you think any of the new players in the squad can push a spot in the World Cup? Right. So Malacia, Cope Miners, Hapo, Taser. Good question. Cope Miners is probably the one with the best chance. Malacia, we will really have to pull it out of the bag for finals and hope that Blint is awful for Ajax and a club level, because on an international level, even though Blint is making mistakes, Malacia is not able to force his way in. As for the others, I don't know. Hapo has a chance for the bench and Tez is going to be a backup. But I did watch the Netherlands and 21s today and thought that Wrench stood out. And I think that he'll be a great backup for Dumfries if he is not able to get a starting spot for whatever reason in the World Cup. He had a good game. Do you want to have your thoughts about Cope Miners or Malacia here, Abdul?
I've always been calling for Cope Miners to be a starter actually in Oranje. I think he would do a great job in Oranje. But for
and he scored against Wales.
Sorry?
And he scored against Wales.
Yeah, he scored against Wales, but how many times did he play as a starter? Very few times. And the match against Wales could be the only time actually he started the match. I don't recall any matches for Cope Miners as a starter really for Oranje. When it comes about Teze, I don't think he stands a chance for Oranje in the World Cup. We just have too many defenders, too many experienced defenders. So maybe he will not have a chance really to play. Malacia and Gakpo, as you said, especially for Malacia, it depends on how he's gonna give in the beginning of the season, how he's gonna start in the beginning of the season. Gakpo, I think, will have a big chance to play for Oranje this World Cup.
Mm.
Maybe not as a
Malacia,
starter, but he will.
okay. Gakpo and Malacia both may be involved in transfers this summer. Both may stay in the Netherlands, and I don't know which would help. I think Gakpo probably staying in the Netherlands would be good for him. Malacia might have to take a big jump, a bit of a leap, and
Yeah.
try something in a tougher league to really stand out. If he can stand out there, then it's a no-brainer to drop Blint and put in Malacia. But timing is really running out for players to get a starting spot, I'd say. But some players in and around the edges, around the squads, might be good if you base that on form. They'll be the ones that are coming in hot to come off the bench. And a question from Dara again: could we not see anyone else in the squad added in, like Donny van de Beek? I wouldn't have thought he would be back in unless Ten Hag can work wonders with him at United. But like I said, some under 21 players, there's a genuine chance they could get in. Sven Botman is one. But then there are so many centre backs in the squad already, aren't there?
Don't you think Gravenberch can also be playing if he performs well with Bayern München?
But will he though? Will he start enough games?
I don't know. Well, he just signed for
I doubt
Bayern
it.
München. Yeah, it depends on how he's going to start with the team actually in the beginning of the season. But Donny, I think he does have a chance if he gets back to Man United, and I think Ten Hag will use him during the match. So during the season, I mean.
We'll have to see. And then there's another one as well with Robbie. Could Robbie leave the line or too soon for him? Definitely too soon for him. I'll come back to the game watch today, but he missed a sitter, two big chances actually, and his hold-up play was good. He did hold off defenders and constantly played into his feet, and he'd do a simple layoff to players around him. That was good and that was effective, but maybe just not killer enough in the box. That was what stood out for me today.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should wait on him a little bit more. I don't think he can lead the line. It's too early.
And there's people that I've known on Twitter that have said that they don't think Rob is actually good enough, and I disagree with that. I think he's still got some development to do. Jeff says, how was the final pass on Poland's second goal not offside? 2 against 1 against goalkeeper when final pass is made. Should be offside, no? And there's a bit of disagreement about that in the live comments. What do you think about that, Abdul?
No, the final pass and the second goal, I don't think it was an offside because it was from the front to the back, so how could that be an offside?
Well, how about this one from John? Our midfield is boggy. What do we do? Well, I mean, we all kind of agree that Frankie de Jong is just, he's indroppable, isn't he? He brings so much to the team.
My perfect midfield will be with the Frankie de Jong and Koop Miners. We just need to have one more good midfielder, and this is the
10.
player we're not missing. Yeah, it could be Donny in the future, in the near future. I don't know, Gravenberch, or maybe somebody else. I have no idea. But
Klaassen?
No, well, he's not really a world-class player. Okay, he's useful. He scored a goal today, but I don't think he's a world-class player that can lead our midfield,
He works hard, doesn't he? He's good if you've got a battling game, like the Belgian game. That worked for him. That was good in the system, yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed. He works well in battling games, yes.
So actually questions here that come in live. Thanks everyone for your live comments. If you do enjoy our live streams, please do give it a like. Show us that you give us your support on Football-Oranje, and there's much more to come, like I said, in the coming days on our channel. Some more comments then. Dara says, could we see Wijndal return? I really like Wijndal. He's great in terms of giving assists, isn't he? Does he defensively do enough? And did he do enough in the Euros from left wing back?
I'm a big fan of his. I think under Van Gaal, he can perform very well, actually.
I do like him.
Yeah.
It's just that making that jump, isn't it? It's that last jump to become a top player for the Dutch national team. It's a high level. And whilst Blind does make mistakes, yes, he's great on the ball and still better than the other options from left back. Well,
the news say that Ajax is really looking to get him in the team. I think if he plays with Ajax, he will develop big time.
Yeah, possibly. What is the weakest position, Michael says, for Dutch? Is it left back? It could be, but then I think Van Gaal's found a way, hasn't he, using wing backs to attack. That is his big strategy. In the Wales-Netherlands match in Cardiff, that they were warming up constantly by using the wing backs, trying to get them as high as possible. That was all their warm-up was, getting them really high as possible and crossing, and it did lead to the winning goal from Weghorst. So
I think,
if those, sorry, I just want to say, Abdul, if those two players, the right wing back and left wing back, if they are really strong players, the system works brilliantly.
yeah, yeah. I think our weakness is not having a playmaker. Since the retirement of
Maybe.
Snyder, we did not really have a good playmaker in the team.
Possibly. Force says, I don't know if that's his actual name. Poland played half of reserve squad of the Netherlands, their first squad. Well, fair comment. The Netherlands still created lots of chances and opportunities over that first half. I think they were just kind of made to pay that, really. And I come here. When you start passing backwards and side to side, Frankie de Jong should be pulling the strings in midfield with Donny van de Beek. Van de Beek has to prove himself, I think, again. He has been able
Yes,
to in the past year or so, 2 years.
yes.
This one from John. Memphis much better as a 10 in the second half. Needs to try both Bergwijn and Gakpo together. Taser seemed unsure in his role. Felt as though Timber was stronger on the right side. Good to see De Vrij. Okay, well, Taser, I thought, against Wales was a walking red card and didn't seem to have the best game. But again, maybe he's just a backup centre back, and that's the way it'll be for him. But how about Timber? Do you like him?
Oh yes, definitely. I was actually surprised when he was substituted, and Taze took his place. Timber was doing so great, really. I mean, I would love to ask Van Gaal why he brought Timber out and Taze in. Timber had a great match, in my opinion.
Perhaps just to give Taser experience. Timber's had a long season.
Maybe.
Can come into play now as well. Okay, last couple of comments. AJ Nix, Memphis has these games where he's touched it off, bad passing, choked penalty. He needs to address this. The keeper was beat, just needs to aim for more the inside corner. And Jack Lee says, Wijnaldum was better than Berghuis and Klaassen. Genie has experience and tactical flexibility. But I think so many people were calling Wijnaldum to be dropped out of the side, that it's only right that we give other players an opportunity. I don't think, has Klaassen really had a bad international break so far?
Who? Sorry?
Klaassen.
If he had a good international break, you're saying?
Oh, I'd say he hasn't had a bad one, has he?
Yeah, he had, yeah, indeed. To be honest with you, I don't think Klaassen should be an Oranje, in my opinion. Okay, we should look for another player. Neither Berghuis. I was surprised to see them both playing today in the midfield. We really need to find players, and I think we could find someone here and there, but not these two guys for the midfield, really.
Okay, sure. Well, thanks everyone for your live comments this evening. If you enjoy our live stream, please do give it a like and subscribe to Football-Oranje if you're new. Abdul, thanks for joining me doing this. It's good to have you coming onto the show. So, yeah, just to say that there will be lots of content coming on Football-Oranje. We'll definitely do a live stream after the Poland game. But just to say that if you haven't watched our interview, a short interview with Louis van Gaal, check it out on our YouTube channel and enjoy. But also, we have interviews coming up with Erwin van der Looy and Kenneth Taylor. So if you're an Ajax fan, do stay tuned for that in particular. Erwin van der Looy does talk about Van Gaal, though, and the Netherlands, and he talks about a few of the younger players that potentially could be coming to the senior side. So do keep your eyes out for that and enjoy that content as well. Thank you very much for watching, and more from us at Football-Oranje very soon. Mike will probably have some stuff on the website coming very soon as well for you to read if you prefer to read rather than watch. But that's all from us for now. Bye.
Bye.